Hi, this is Michael Thompson from Zoweh, and I want to welcome you to the Wednesday Morning Rescue. This is our weekly audio encouragement offered through Zoweh's daily orientation. What you are about to listen to is an excerpt from the Men's Heart of a Warrior Conference or the Zoweh Women's Deepening Weekend Retreat. It is our hope that your heart finds strength, beauty, and courage for the life God has called you to live in the larger story. It was C.S. Lewis who once wrote, "Relying on God has to begin all over again every day, as if nothing had yet been done." It is our prayer that this devotional brings an orientation to your heart, settling you and equipping you to play your part well in the great love story set in the midst of the fierce battle. Today, may you experience the love of God, learning how to walk with Him and live free.
Remember, the offer is life. John 10:10, Jesus said, "I came that you might have life and have it to the full." We've said that. We have to keep that right here. This is about life. It's looking back and doing these hard things and taking these hard looks in order to experience life and belovedness. Jeremiah 30:17 says, "But I will restore you to health and heal your wounds, declares the Lord." Dan Allender, in that quote, he also goes on to say that he says that we will all face moments when we recognize anew that we are called to a journey that will shape and change us. The journey has the potential to heal us or harden us. It will harden us if we attempt to do an end run around the desert valley or craggy peak where God compels us to walk. It will soften, break, mold, and heal us if we choose to take sorrow and suffering by the hand, as Dana was referring to earlier, and walk by faith into the damage of our past, the struggles of the present, and our fears of the future. So friends, we get to choose how and what we're going to do with our wounded hearts and the damage that has been done to us in our past, and how that continues to impact our present and can impact our future, and will, unless we bring this to our God, our healer, for healing. In this session, we're going to explore together the healing of the wound. The invitation that is given to us by our God is to take Him by the hand and allow Him to lead us on a journey towards healing and restoration. We live in the greatest love story set in the midst of the fiercest battle. And earlier yesterday, we talked about our belovedness, some of the love story that our God, who is the great romancer and who loves us deeply, is pursuing us towards intimacy, oneness, and connectedness with Him Himself. Yet we live in a fallen, broken world that is under the spell, the influence of the Prince of Darkness, the Prince of this dark world. Our enemy is after no less than our destruction and our death. 1 Peter 5:8 warns that he looks to devour us. John 8:44 says he is a murderer and he is the father of lies. It is amazing how the enemy of our hearts works against us. He doesn't wait until we're of a certain age. There's no grace period. It starts when we're 3, 4, 5 years old. Maybe dad leaves. Maybe mom gets sick and isn't able to be present in our lives. Maybe an uncle or a trusted friend touches us where they never, ever, ever should. Our young hearts experience trauma beyond what we should ever have to experience or endure. The enemy of our hearts may not cause every wound, yet they sure can seize upon those wounding moments and lie to us and whisper messages, pin our hearts down, take us out, and secure an awful future for us through vows and agreements. Just last week, I was going over this talk, and I was sitting at my desk that looks out over our backyard, and it's pretty much a wall of windows. And there are trees or shrubs, I'm not sure, but just, I don't have a green thumb. I don't know if it's a short tree or a large shrub outside the windows. And I saw a movement as I'm going over this part, and I see this movement, and it catches my eye, and I look, and there is this big black snake slithering up the one bush and all the way into the other until it disappears. Its long body disappears into a thicker portion of the leaves. And I'm 99.9% sure it was after the birds that have a nest in there. And I love those birds. I watch those birds from that window. I love those little birds. But it was such a perfectly awful picture to me of what our enemy does. How he slithers in so quietly, so subtly that sometimes we don't even realize what's going on. Do you think that's what Jesus meant when he said, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy? No less than stealing, killing, and destroying. Jesus came to bring life, and that life is opposed, fiercely opposed. Ladies, the enemy comes at our need for belovedness. They come directly at our need to know that we are beloved daughters, and against our desire to be pursued and romanced. And they come so often at the place of our glory, like Dana mentioned earlier. All hell has broken loose against the love that we were made for. I recently found out that someone very, very precious to me had been assaulted. The assault was not just against her body, but against her heart, and has come at the very core of who she is. I had been wondering why she was so shut down and closed off, understandably, shielding herself against further pain, perhaps, and then maybe not even having any idea how to process such a traumatic thing. How could anyone blame her? I've watched this suck the life out of her, along with joy, feeling free and lighthearted. She seemed to have lost her sense of self, her true self, her glorious, image-bearing, beautiful, full of life self. It has broken my heart to see her wounded heart. Dana showed us some scenes, some powerful illustrations from The Horse Whisperer earlier that invite us to see wounding and trauma and its effect, its impact, quite literally. For Grace and for Pilgrim, the physical trauma and the emotional trauma that they endured have kept them bound and closed off, and have kept them really from experiencing the life that they were meant for, and kept them from experiencing that freedom and that, when she was out in the field, just that life. It's what's in the way. Similar to the woman that I just described, it is the trauma and where they are trapped and bound. That's what's in the way of their continuing to experience life and love that God intended for us.
Thank you for listening to this week's Wednesday Morning Rescue, a part of Zoweh's Daily Orientation. To sign up for the Daily Orientation, explore more information on Zoweh's weekend retreats, or to order the book, The Heart of a Warrior, go to our website at www.zoweh.org. That's www.zoweh.org.